Maybe we should say interesting things. Or start saying some stuff and people think they got some real, personal information.
Okay, we're live on YouTube.
I've got a big wart on my backside.
And we're live on... No, we're not live there yet. Fuck, it takes so long to fucking go live on.
What, on Rumble?
Yeah, it just takes longer.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with Rumble.
Get your shit together, dudes. Still not live. Hey, we're live. I'm so busy today. Andrew sent me a message. I still live in... I better fucking start.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show will commence in 5 minutes. While you are waiting, please hit the like button and share the video link.
Please like and leave a comment, and share this video.
Only 3 minutes until the start. Only 2 minutes until the start.
Please like and subscribe to this channel today. And don't forget to share it and hit that thumbs up. Thank you.
What's going on?
Ladies and gentlemen, the awesomeness is about to start in 1 minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to begin. Grab a drink and a snack, sit down and enjoy watching the show. Don't forget to comment, like the video, and share it to others.
Hey, everybody.
Wow, who's that?
Show number 52. For some reason, as you saw, the computer's playing up. Haven't done anything to it, nothing at all. Haven't even used it for anything.
The ghost in the machine.
Yes. Or someone else is in the machine.
Yeah.
Who will that be?
Yeah, we're living. We're pretty close to Ukraine. I don't know.
No, I don't think it's them.
No.
Maybe it's the locals. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? After my border crossing. Anyway, another story for another time. How are you?
Well, yeah, I guess I'm okay. I had a kind of 3-day weekend in a way, and it's of course mostly over now. But I have tomorrow, and tomorrow is a wasted day because I sit around feeling sad because I have to go to work that day after that. So that's how it is.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's not good.
Yeah.
What? I'm just trying to find something to show people while we're talking. It's warm today again.
Oh yeah, I tell you what, this is like. I was here, how long have I been here? Well, a couple of years already. And it's like July, and I'd like to tell everybody, oh, come in June. It's the best month. It's still not so hot. And it's, and everything is green and beautiful. And it's really, really great. Normally Belarus in June is fantastic. But here we still have May, the last days of May. And it's kind of hot like July almost. And maybe just because I'm not used to it because, we're still coming off of the winter and spring. So
yeah, I'm just putting up a video now.
We had some cold days in spring.
That video. That's we had lunch.
Yes.
Yesterday at the seafood bar, SFB Minsk.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see your wife on the left and you on the right.
Yeah. Waiting to dig in there.
Yeah.
I got a zoo shirt on with a white tiger. Black and white striped tiger.
Yeah, there he is. There he goes. That's him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah, the tiger on.
You look like someone else. Remind me of someone. So we all had fish and chips, and your wife and myself had passion fruit ice cream, and you had.
I should have.
Yeah, I did suggest it.
Yeah.
And then, what did you have?
Something is supposed to be vanilla, which I don't know. And it seemed like a grated cheese on it. What kind of? I don't. It wasn't super bad, but it wasn't so great either. It wasn't like anything special.
That's not good.
But fish and chips was fine. Real hot.
Yeah, and just while we're on it, I'll just I did some video. I'll do properly for the next show because. I was busy reading a book today, which we'll go on about that.
Speed reading.
I was speed reading, Mr. Speed Reader.
A 3-hour book.
Yeah, I did it in 3 hours, which is not bad, actually.
Wish I could do that.
This is on the way to meeting here. I'll just put that in front of us. There you go. Just see, the computer's playing up for some reason. I don't know why it's doing that. It's really weird. Like it's always been working, and all of a sudden now it's yeah. Oh. Very strange. Very strange. Okay, I'll get rid of that before it just crashes the machine. Anyway, so it's really weird. And this book here, Nuclear War, Nuclear war scenario. It's 72 minutes from the first launch until everything in the world's dead, essentially.
And you read it at such an appropriate time with all this nuclear threat stuff going on, and
Yes, yes.
It's
In
incredible.
fact, the politicians should read that
yeah,
and just see, because it goes through what happens to all the people as well. You know, how they're
Yeah.
killed.
And what a show we have talking about this stuff. I tell you, if you guys are interested in this sort of thing, like this, of what's really going on in the world, and it's like it's reminiscent of the time, like old people like us, during the Cold War, and and I'll tell you, I think it's even worse right now, because you got some. Back in those days, you had some what do you call it, some safeguards or whatever, and now you have a bunch of real insane people, and a whole bunch of them in the West.
Insane.
Yeah, it's these people are just like nuts, and then you got like maybe a leader of a country who's like got some kind of dementia problems or whatever, and I don't, that's scary enough, and these people, they don't want. They've been wanting to take Ukraine for a long, long time, and they thought they were so close, and they thought, hey, we're pushing on Russia all this time. We're gaining more and more countries, and we're getting closer and closer. We're taking over more stuff, and we're right up on the border now, and we're so close, and we just can't give up. We got to take it, because if we don't take it now, this is the real thoughts in their head. If we don't take it now, we won't have another chance, because Russia's onto us, and they're going to make sure that we don't take it, to neutralize Russia as a whole goal.
Well, as Jeffrey Sachs said with that interview with Tucker Carlson yesterday, they really want Crimea. They want that naval base.
He did say that.
He did say that.
Oh my God! Here, look at everybody. I've been saying this on so many shows, and nobody, Scott Ritter, nobody's ever talking about it. And I remember being in the military.
Yeah, they want to make the Black Sea a lake, like a NATO lake.
Yeah, exactly. They want to close Russia out of that. And Russia was actually, at the time before all this stuff was happening, they were really building a port on this Novorossiya place, which is part of the Krasnodar thing, and it was like it's going to be the busiest port in the the whole hemisphere, and and it was even going to be a big tourist area. They only have one problem in that area, is that they have one day of the year or 2 days that has really strong winds, and you can't really go outside on that day, because you'll be something's going to happen to you, so you stay in. Roofs are blown off. It's just like a hurricane in, say, the Caribbean, and it's just one day. But anyway, but I'm glad somebody is now finally mentioning that. I mean, it takes somebody like Jeffrey Sachs, who's I think he's a couple of years older than me, and he remembers that. Then I don't know why Scott Ritter doesn't, because that was a main goal, is to get their Crimea, and that's probably the entire reason. Is that what he says in that thing? It's mainly the entire reason for all of this stuff that's going on.
Oh, some of the reason.
Well, yeah, it's not the whole reason, but
essentially
it's a major reason.
The Americans are like playing Risk. They want to. They're pieces on the board everywhere, every country. So,
yeah.
There you go.
Well, finally. Otherwise, I was thinking, damn, am I insane? Did I just imagine that? Or, I was hearing that from so many officers and things back in the old days, aides of the highest generals and things. They were telling me this stuff because, they're not, they kind of are allowed, but not allowed to be talking about this stuff. But I had a college education, and a lot of them like to talk to me. So that's why I knew this stuff.
Also in their book, they go through, like the Pentagon and all that has war gaming, in every scenario. It doesn't matter if it starts off with one nuke or one country or a different country, all ends in the same. Everybody eventually releases all their nukes.
Yeah.
And it's over. Northern Hemisphere is gone.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get into that stuff. Here, we're already jumping the gun. You wanted to
jump on the gun.
say some things about Belarus first.
Okay. Where are we? I'll just get this started.
Minsk. You said that last time.
Minsk.
Yeah.
I'll just grab this. If you give me a second. Just got to work out what this is. Oh, there you are. So, oops. Okay, I'll just grab the picture in a minute. But Lukashenko has signed to suspend the Treaty on Conventional Armed Forces in Europe. So he did that today.
and some of the other European countries already bailed out of that
Oh yeah,
years ago.
Yeah, they did it ages ago. Yeah, I know. But
He kept with it, and he honored that treaty.
yeah,
That's why he's a bad guy, I guess. Huh?
yeah. So he signed a law saying it's over.
Yeah, it
And
means
they're
like
out.
it's like a thing that restricts on how many tanks you can have and how many of this and how
Yeah,
many of that.
airplanes,
And he
helicopters.
stuck with that. He stuck with that.
Yeah, but finally he said no one else is doing it, so why should they do it?
Yeah.
So that's that. And today in Minsk, oops, sorry, just realised I hadn't plugged in something there. Today in Minsk, they had a test on emergency response by different things, by different departments at the arena. So here we go.
Yeah, that's
So this was today. Yeah, the special forces there as well, doing their bit, hostage stuff.
yeah,
So
practice training.
yeah,
Looks pretty awesome. I mean, awesome. Filmed awesome and everything. Look at
Yeah.
that. It's like, what? What did I just see?
yeah. So they're doing hostage. So grab the hostages. Obviously, the guy in the red's a terrorist.
So it's made like a Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
It's actually very, very well Hollywoodish. I mean,
Yeah,
they can probably make movies like this.
yeah.
Wonder
So
how
that was
expensive
that was today in Minsk, and what else? And I think yesterday they started Russia started their tactical nuclear training,
Mm.
which we'll get onto later.
Mhm.
So I'll hand it over to you.
Okay. Yes. So we're talking about a lot of this stuff's going to be around nukes today, obviously, because NATO is also practicing, and
Yeah, they're practicing actually attacking
yeah,
here and Russia.
yeah. There's a photo. You didn't have to put that one up. It's not. It's just as a little training aid, but it's yeah, they're practicing doing nuclear strikes on Belarus and Russia. That's what they're practicing. I mean, to put it
Again, that book,
Mhm.
she's very well linked in with everything if you read it. But she said every scenario, every wargaming always ends up like one's used, eventually they're all used.
everything's destroyed.
Yeah. And in that book, they go through a scenario in 72 minutes, right? 72 minutes from the first nuke that's fired from North Korea.
The second they push the button until everything's destroyed.
Yeah, 72 minutes. Then eventually Russia gets in and fires their 1,000 off, and then Russia, US responds to Russia and sends them back, and then Russia just releases the rest of them. So that's that, all over. 72 minutes
Yeah.
from the first launch from a different country, like from North Korea.
Yeah. Not
Because
even.
the US in this scenario, the US obviously retaliates to North Korea, but the nukes have got to go over Russia, over the North Pole. And all the Russians can see is nukes coming at them.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, so they have to make a decision whether to use them or lose them. So they decide, oh, well, so then they start their business.
And you only have seconds.
30 seconds.
Gosh damn. Woo.
Well, from launch in the US, they said from launch to make the decision, they've got 6 minutes to decide what they're going to do.
So Putin better not be taking a bath at that time. Anyway. Yeah. But another event, this was something too, because Ukraine had launched drones to attack a Russian nuclear early warning network.
And the second one, they found a drone just before it. So they've actually tried to attack two. So they're trying
I think I saw something
so
about
they're trying
that
to
too.
take out Russia's early warning system. Why?
Yeah, there is no howitzers there, nothing that threatens Ukraine, nothing whatsoever. There's nothing, say, if they even launched ATACMS anywhere in the area, it can't shoot them down because this thing is designed just as a radar to monitor if anything is coming
looking
in
for
at
ballistic
very
missiles.
high altitudes.
Yeah, for looking for ballistic missiles.
Yeah, ballistic missiles. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just for very high altitude things. And yeah, but this was, that was put out by, what's his name?
Someone's trying to take out their eyes.
Vladimir Kulysov. He's the head of Russian border security. In case you missed that stuff, that news anyway. And yeah, this like that early warning one that they did significant damage is southwest, and it's by southwest of Krasnodar, which is far from Ukraine. So you'd have to go over like either part of Crimea and
It's
Kherson.
1,500 kilometers, isn't it, away?
It's quite a distance away, and yeah. Anyway,
And of course,
Russia has 10 of these systems throughout the whole western side, maybe of all in Russia, and it goes all the way from like say Murmansk all the way. I think that's maybe where Belarus is going to have a port. That part of Russia, because it's been closed off from the Baltic states. They said Belarus can't use those ports anymore, so they have to use something in Russia.
and Dmitry has sent out a tweet, as you can see.
Oh yeah, that was a
Did you
good
see
one
this?
too. Yeah, I don't know if I read that. Maybe that's a different one. The Polish counterpart of a weird, outlandish creature called Blinken. I think I maybe saw part with a much more sonorous name. Sikorsky apparently has decided to scare his own masters. He has stated the Americans have told the Russians that if you explode a nuke, even if it doesn't kill anybody, we will hit all your targets, positions in Ukraine with conventional weapons. We'll destroy all of them. And I think it's longer than that. First, the Yankees so far haven't said anything exactly like that because they are more cautious than the Polacks. Second, Americans hitting our targets means nothing, means starting a world war. And a foreign minister, even of a country like Poland, should understand that. And third, considering that yet another Polak, Duda, has recently announced the wish to deploy tactical nuclear weapons in Poland, Warsaw won't be left out and will surely get its share of radioactive ash. Is that what you really want? The Polish are resentful, have been like that for over 400 years. I wonder, you got to know history with these guys. These guys are a little more intellectual than the Americans. Americans don't talk about history because they don't know it. Many of these politicians and stuff. So you have to wonder what was happening 400 years ago,
Yeah, and I've got this map as well. I don't know if you've seen this. Is U.S. nuclear weapons in Europe. So
I saw that. I was thinking about it.
So the red is U.S. nuclear weapons deployed. The slightly pinkish red is deployed U.S. nuclear weapons requested. The darker blue has its own nuclear own. I'll get to there. Its own nuclear arsenal, and then there's other countries, and then obviously the yellow is Russia and Belarus. So there you go.
So the red ones have their own.
No, the red ones are the
hosting
ones
U.S.
Yeah, U.S. nukes.
Blue
the light blue ones are
requesting.
The countries. The pink one, which is Poland, they want them.
They want them.
And the dark blue one, which is UK and France, they got their own.
Mm-hmm. Roll your own.
Hmm.
What's that? Oh, that's wait a minute. Oh yeah, that's that. Not Sardinia. What's that? Course, what's that island that belongs to France, right by Italy there? You know the name of that?
No.
You've been everywhere. You should know.
No.
Oh, you haven't been there?
No, sorry.
One place you haven't been.
Sorry.
Oh, that's that island. It's anyway.
I know you're disappointed now.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So let's see.
And one more thing. Oh, sorry, I just forgot something. While we're on Belarus, do you see this on the border? They're throwing sticks with knives on them at the. Hang on.
Sticks and stones and breaking bones.
So this is on the Polish border, as you can see here, and look, those sticks have got little sharp bits on them. They're trying to stab these people.
These are like
immigrants.
And the Polish are throwing it at them. Huh?
Yeah, on the other side. Yeah. So this is Belarus.
Come to clean things up.
Yeah, because this guy got stabbed.
By one of the sticks already, and then they're trying to get him some more, huh?
Yeah, so they've put the shields up so they can look after him.
Look at this. So they have to have shields. So in other words, they're using it as a way to attack Belarus in that way. I mean, immigrants and Belarusian police and anything that's coming by there. Oh, what a bunch of savages.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the day before yesterday, the FSB released information that NATO has been practicing the nuclear strikes along Russia-Belarus border. So what is going on here? Ask yourself, why would Ukraine, actually the West, want to take out a nuclear warning system. It doesn't have, like I said, weapons or nothing like that. It's very, very strange. It's not anywhere near the conflict zone. The West has been mentioning lately that Russia...
They're idiots, because even if they did a first strike and they took out the leadership, right? Russia's got a dead hand system. That means...
Dead man switch, kind of.
Yeah. So that means, like I was reading this book, they've got sensors everywhere, which, they can feel on the ground if there's nuclear explosions. And if the computer doesn't hear from anybody, it just launches everything.
Wow.
Automatically. So even if you take out the leadership and all that, they'll launch automatically.
Yeah. Incredible.
Sorry, everybody, if you can hear that noise. We've got the windows open and there's a basketball court downstairs and the kids are playing. But it's warm, so we have to have the window open.
Yeah. But, one of the reasons I think why they're trying to take that out is probably the West is, and you see these conventional, not, non-nuclear scenarios that the Pentagon tries to play out, and I guess Russia's winning in all of those too. So the West knows that they can't win a war against Russia, and I think that even includes if you have all NATO. And there was some leader of some country just came out the other day and said, "Oh well, Russia knows that they won't stand a chance against all of NATO," but that's not really the case. I mean, it's. I'm not going to say it's equal, but it's because when you start coming down to it, Russia has told them our territory is threatened, we're going to use nuclear weapons. So in other words,
just as the US would do.
That's a dead man switch itself.
Yeah, just as the US would do if it was on the border of Mexico and someone started attacking them.
Yeah, but the deal is, everybody knows that nobody has any intention whatsoever of attacking the United States. Nobody has that.
No.
Nobody. No. But the United States wants to be the masters of the universe, so they want to attack everybody has to fall in line with and it's not really even the US, it's those that control the US. They have to fall in line with what they want, and they have to control you. They have to have control, and they get what they want. And, I don't know. It makes you really wonder where is this all going to end anyway?
Yeah, people should go to YouTube and have a look at Tucker Carlson's interview with Jeffrey Sachs. 2 hours and a bit, but it's worthwhile watching.
Yeah, I haven't even watched it. I've only seen a couple parts of it. But now that he mentioned the Crimea, like I've been saying, all of this stuff is stuff that I learned, in the old days in the Cold War and things like that. And I don't know. These are just facts. And I think, I have a quote, I think, from Peskov a little bit later in this, and he's talking about they don't even teach history in America anymore, and people are totally oblivious to the real facts and what's really can happen. And that's one reason why we're having this show is to
look at Biden on Memorial Day on Monday. He was at Arlington Cemetery, and he was talking about D-Day and all that, and said the Americans won the war. Didn't even mention the Red Army at all.
Yeah,
not even a little bit.
Yeah, and they're fading them out of history. And I remember
every year they do a poll in Europe, and it's the Americans winning the war goes up, and the Russians keep going down and down and down.
Yeah, and they're trying to now. A lot of them are saying, Russia were allies with Nazi Germany. Like, what the heck?
Well, hey, some Japanese think Russia nuked them, not the Americans.
Yeah. Even the Japanese, he was sitting there with the American president, and they're trying to make people think that Russia was the one that did Hiroshima and all that. They didn't mention the U.S. or anything, or they didn't even really. They were mentioning the threat from Russia and saying we don't want this in Hiroshima to happen again. But yet they're referring to Russia as being a threat, and they're talking about Hiroshima, but they didn't mention anything about the U.S. And the U.S. was there, and it's like. Trying to make people think, early on. I guess that's the objective in the next 10 years is to make everybody think that Russia is the one that did it. This stuff is really incredible. So, but as you've heard, a lot of these leaders are saying it's like basically they use maybe even the same word. It is imperative that Russia does not win this conflict, And then at the same time, they have this so-called peace process going on in Switzerland, it's Zelensky. And he wants everybody to go there, and he wants to, the peace process, or the peace conference is that Russia surrenders, and Putin goes on trial, and Russia pays huge reparations to Ukraine, and all that sort of thing. And without ever even mentioning the causes of the war and who actually started it, which was Ukraine. Actually, it should be Russia wanting all this stuff.
Again, if you go and watch that interview with Jeffrey Sachs, he lays it out where it was started, who started it, everything.
Yeah, he even has a different date, and he actually makes a good case for that date. I think it was in February of 2014, and when it actually started. And obviously it was started, and I don't know if he says the U.S. explicitly, when they overthrew the democratically elected government of Ukraine.
Yep.
And yeah, and Victoria Nuland handing out cookies and all of this stuff, and U.S. senators on the streets
because he
saying,
says
we're with you with all the Ukrainian people.
Because he says in the interview, imagine if Chinese government officials were in Mexico
doing the same thing,
going, yay, you know.
Yeah, that'd be a war right there, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if nothing had ever happened.
Yeah.
The U.S. would say, we're not going to take that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they've got that Monroe Doctrine, haven't they? The U.S. No one in their sphere around the southern hemisphere, around the Americas, is allowed to have bases and all that.
Yeah, but it's also reciprocal, that America should not have bases in other hemispheres.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? That was supposed to be the Monroe Doctrine. It's supposed to be like the whole hemisphere. The U.S. gets to do whatever they want, kind of, in
just
North and South America.
Yeah, in Americas, that's it.
Yeah, and the other countries, they do what they want to do, and the United States, of course, can't do that. I think they probably changed the Monroe document to say the U.S. can do whatever they want everywhere, but nobody else can do anything in the U.S. area. But yeah, anyway, what Russia does, we have. The video, it's dangerous to our democracy. And it's very similar to a lot of the times what Tucker Carlson was putting up, and a lot of people, when they show that all these news stations all over the U.S., they have scripted talking points, and they basically even go with the identical words, every single station.
Okay, let's watch that.
So here it is.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Those Russians. Extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is 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 extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Parrots. Human parrots. Can you imagine that, everybody?
They all got the same email in the morning.
Yeah. What's weird is they use it. This is extreme. I mean, they use even this is extreme. Why didn't they just change up the words just a little bit, But it's like, it has to be exactly the same way. I guess it's supposed to have a psychological effect when it's said exactly that same way, because they figured this stuff out ahead of time, You have to say it in this exact way to have this psychological effect of indoctrination of the American peoples, And when you even think about this, you have to say, well, it depends on a person's definition of democracy. If you were to use Benjamin Franklin's definition of democracy, 2 wolves and 1 sheep deciding on what's for dinner, then you wouldn't want to have anything to do with democracy, So we've all been convinced deep in our souls that democracy is a good thing, right up there with Jesus and Gandhi and everything like that, and apple pie. So you have to, what about the things like truth, responsibility, humanity, justice? No. Democracy, America, And if someone told you that more often than not, democracy runs counter to those attributes, which it actually does, if you go by Benjamin Franklin's definition. So, yeah, let's tell you, what we have in America and most countries is a republic. It's not a democracy. A democracy has virtually never existed in all of human history. So this stuff is just a feel-good sort of a psychological thing. Oh, democracy. Oh, I chills up my spine and all that kind of crap, It's like what old Lukashenko. But what's on your hat? Oh, you don't have the shirt on. Dave has a shirt that says, "I am a dictator. I don't understand democracy." Something.
Oh, excuse me.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll just grab it. Hang on, give me a second.
Something that
It's
Lukashenko said.
Yeah.
Well, it's in Russian. I don't know if anybody can understand it.
Yeah, but also he said it as a joke because everybody keeps saying he's a dictator.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if it is, I'd rather stay here than the free countries over there. You know, I don't know. It's really weird. They're not dictators, but they locked you inside during a virus that was created by man and turned out not to be.
Didn't do that here.
Yeah, yeah, and they didn't do that here. So I don't know. You can go on and on for a lot of things, but that's a free country. A free country locks you up.
Yeah,
isn't that incredible?
So obviously, it's too warm to wear this today. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, it is.
There you go. Is that right? I can't see.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
There you go. It says, "I'm a dictator. I don't understand democracy."
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they always harass him about it and say it. So now he just says it as a joke.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what. There's a.
That's from the Lukashenko merchant shop.
Yeah.
2 in Minsk, 1 in Moscow.
We'll talk about a little bit about this.
Same with the hat.
About what's going on. You know, why the West says all that kind of stuff. They don't want people to come here. Life is actually good in Belarus, and we'll tell you that. But there's so many people, and they have the world convinced. Oh, he gets people, maybe puts them on the wall and has a firing squad. I don't know what they say in the West about him, because I've known about Belarus for a long, long time, and I hear there was one time. Okay, I did remember one time in Germany they said something like killed a bunch of people, when actually I think it was like these people stampeding from a soccer game or something like that, and they have memorial. You've seen it there, I think, on the steps, and they have flowers and everything there. I think some people got killed. I don't even know how many, because they got trampled or something. And it's happened even all the time in the West. It's happened in the UK and everything. And
it happens regular in India, places like that.
Yeah, but it happened just one time here, and I don't know. And it's like, I don't know. It's just a bunch of BS. But
it's like the Ryanair thing, false flag.
Yeah.
It's like everything as usual.
Yeah, they just leave out a lot of the important information, the West does, and to make it, it's in they're actually very, very, very adept at that, finding ways to.
Well, as we discussed, the news organizations here in Belarus need to do like they do in Russia and have English-speaking journalists as well going to these events, because they don't promote themselves enough here.
Yeah, they should have people like us.
Yeah, exactly.
In America and in England and all that stuff, they're hearing the stuff and then it's mistranslated, or they leave things out. And yeah, I'll tell you what, if there's anybody out there,
Jake's available.
Yeah, in this communication.
He'll even cut his hair.
Yeah. Well, cutting my hair. Well, I might just do a little bit of different things in my hair.
You wear a hat and put it up inside that.
Something like that. I don't know. Well, I tell you, I don't know.
You become a Sikh and you can put it in a little thing.
Yeah, maybe I can do some Rasta braid in my hair.
Wrong. Oh, I was going to be racist, and I was going to say wrong color.
Yeah.
I'm going to be cancelled.
No, they kept some people in blonde hair doing it. But anyway,
cultural appropriation.
There has been much talk about. Also, we talk about the nuclear stuff and all that. Well, in any kind of attacks, there's just, it's kind of strange. We kind of shy away a little bit from the stuff that's going on in Palestine and all that, even though that's very nasty and they're killing lots of civilians and innocent people and babies.
Israeli tanks made it into the center of Rafah today. Oh, yesterday.
Yeah. We'll be mentioning a little bit more about it, but it's like here we're centering a lot on what's going on in this area because, it's. I think this is a lot more.
Tell your friends to subscribe, because if it starts, we'll be here reporting.
Yeah. Because I think this is a lot
until we
longer.
turn to ashes.
In the what I was trying to say out there in the in the Middle East, that stuff is going to come to an end at some time. They're going to run out of Palestinians, maybe. I don't know. Kill them all or whatever, make the entire place destroyed. I don't know. And over here, they're going to just maybe keep wanting to escalate because the goal is to get Russia and all that.
Poland said they're putting more troops on the border. About to put more here.
I've been hearing that for years.
Yeah, more and more here.
Building all kinds of things and all that because the Belarusians are going to attack. Like
But
Lukashenko, look at his record. Look at all these attacks he's made in almost 30 years. None.
Yeah, exactly. But again, with the media, they need to all their reporting here. They need to put subtitles in English. They need to have English speaking journalists.
Yeah.
Because as you know, remember that video of Lukashenko at the border near the Suwalki Gap?
Yeah.
And he was saying, essentially, if they come across the border, we'll hit them hard, right? And attack.
Yeah.
Or defend. And of course, they cut that bit out because it was in Russian as well, the whole thing. And underneath in English, it said, "We're going to attack the Suwalki Gap."
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
Didn't even say that.
Yeah, and they say, see, it's just like what they did with Ahmadinejad, of Iran. He was quoting something from Khomeini from the 70s, and Khomeini did not even say those words. Israel was saying, they said they're going to wipe us off the map. Iran said they're going to wipe Israel off the map, and those words were never said. And it was not said by what was said was Khomeini, the Ayatollah, the first one, that went through the revolution. He said that the Zionist regime in the Middle East will fade from the pages of time. And they, and that was Khomeini, and it wasn't Ahmadinejad. So they twisted it and said, Ahmadinejad said they're going to wipe us off the map. And so.
What was that? Oh, that's all right.
I don't know. So anyway, that was just a bunch of made up stuff. And,
we're getting attacked.
Yeah, I was thinking a drone or something.
Yeah.
Something fell down. Yeah, but anyway, it's just how they can do that, I don't know what you call it, lost in translation or something like that. Yes, but Stoltenberg, he's saying Ukraine should have the right to strike targets inside of Russia, which they've been doing already anyway.
This guy's deranged.
Well, yeah, I think everybody's talking about that. He's I don't even understand. He's just some kind of a weird mouthpiece that mouths off at times. What else does he do? When the U.S. is actually controlling NATO, this guy is from Norway. He used to be, I guess, the prime minister of Norway at one time. And he's just, and then he was supposed to retire, I think, 2 times now, and he's still there. And I think they were trying to find a replacement, and
they're trying to find someone, that guy from Netherlands, because they don't want one of the Chihuahuas in because they're a bit extreme.
Yeah. Well, yeah, not just that, and I was thinking, Ursula von der Leyen, she's extreme too. She used to be the defense minister of Germany. And it's like she's a shoo-in for that job.
She did a crap job.
Yeah, she did a real terrible job. That's why the German military is in such crappy shape, is, from all that time that she was in charge. And then I think this other woman, I don't even know why, but she had nothing to do with defense, who took over for her. I think she was there for 1 year, and I think she resigned. I don't even know who's in. Oh, that's Pistorius. Pistorius, he's in charge now. I don't know. I don't even know how he's doing. I'm not following that stuff, but anyway, Ursula von der Leyen, it makes you wonder.
Yeah, she was talking about an EU army now.
Yeah, well, what is NATO actually but an EU army, but it's mostly controlled by the U.S. All they have to do is say, well, when Trump is in, they just have to tell Trump, oh, well, okay, then stop funding us. And then there you have it. Now you have yourself your EU army, and then just make an alliance, that army, with the United States and call it something else. And then NATO's gone. Russia will be happy. I don't know.
I don't think they'll be happy. But anyway.
Well, no, they wouldn't be happy because they're going to basically have the same thing, but it would come under like a different kind of agreement. But that, you can solve all the problems with that. Very simple. Just use this thing called a brain. I remember those. Anyway.
So do you want to listen to this?
Oh, yeah, that's
Norwegian
right.
wood?
That's right. It's a video. I forgot.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Made by individual allies. But I have said that the time has come to consider whether it will be right to lift some of the restrictions which have been imposed. Because we see now that, especially in Kharkiv region, the front line and the borderline is more or less the same.
What is that?
And of course,
I don't understand what he's talking about either.
Attack military targets on Russian territory, then...
So is he saying all the land that Russia has now got is actually Russian territory? Is that what he just said?
What I was thinking, he says the front line and the line of conflict, or whatever, It's like saying that Russia is on the border of Ukraine now, but
anyway,
of Kharkiv. I don't understand what he's talking about.
One hand of the Ukrainians on their back, and makes it very hard for them to conduct defense.
But just a couple months ago, Ukraine was winning
from Russian territory with missiles, with airstrikes, with artillery, and it's hard for them to respond because there are restrictions on some of the weapons they could use.
But they're still
And we
attacking
have
Russia
to
like
remember what
Belarus.
this is. This is self-defense. The Russian invasion of Ukraine is a war of aggression. Blatantly
I thought when Russia entered, it was
violating
self-defense of the
international law.
Donbass. This guy is so messed up. And I'll tell you what, Russia went into the Donbass on February, in 2022. And actually, they were fighting Ukraine from that area. They were not fighting from Russian territory, as he just now said. But I believe there were some missiles, I guess, launched, when they have some of these big night raids, I think, on like Kiev and places like that, when they destroy, but they don't attack the military. They destroy like the heating plants and the factories and the things like that. And I don't even know if anybody actually really gets hurt or dies in those attacks. But the real time when lives are taken, those attacks are all launched from the territory that Ukraine was bombing previously to the military special operation. And so he's lying, but of course that's nothing new.
No.
Yes, I don't know, but trying to figure out what this guy says, and you got to go fact check all these things, and you find out most of these guys are just talking out of their backside anyway. Yeah. Yes, and but the difference is he's talking about using long-range strike systems, not the other ones. He's talking about getting systems that strike, much further into Russia, maybe all the way. And a matter of fact, they've even used strikes on Smolensk, which is far away from Ukraine. It's on the way from Minsk to Moscow. It's up north. It's you got to go up north on the northern part of Belarus almost, and then go across the border, and then you get to Smolensk. And they've been using drones on Smolensk, for example.
Yeah.
So that's pretty long distance from Ukraine already. So,
and that's why I can't use my drones here anymore because of those Ukrainians.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah, and all of this stuff says, well, we haven't given them, and then Canada just admitted, well, we've never had any. We've been giving Ukraine weapons, and we've never had any restrictions on how far they can strike. So I don't know what they're talking about. Lifting restrictions. I don't think there was any restrictions. And as everybody knows, they've been bombing places in Russia already anyway. And remember that time when there was a drone that hit the Kremlin? They thought they were going to get Putin and all that. It was launched from somewhere within Moscow or the outskirts or whatever. But nevertheless, they're still doing this sort of thing. So I think it's all just a bunch of just wasting time in the airwaves. And Blinken, he said it was already okay for Ukraine to strike inside of Russia.
Mm-hmm.
So what are they? And they're like, now they're being quiet about it. It's not being played anymore. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But Ukraine has been hitting civilian targets. They're not, and they're always talking about military. But how come it's very rare that Ukraine hits military targets? It's mostly always civilian. I don't know.
Well, the bridge is a civilian target in Crimea.
Yeah. And remember, well, I guess maybe when Ukraine shot down that IL-76 cargo plane, Russian cargo plane that was carrying Ukrainian POWs, I guess that's a military target. Makes you wonder, why would they shoot down their own people? It's just like what we announced this last show. There was, 500 POWs for exchange held by the Russians. And Ukraine says they didn't want them. They didn't want to exchange for those. They only wanted, I think it was 48, and they were Azov. They were Nazis, avowed Nazis, And the other ones were just people they mobilized off the street. Somebody walking their dog or going to the supermarket to get some bread or something. and they grab them and throw them in a van and use them as cannon fodder on the front lines, as we've shown so many videos. I don't know. I don't know. Do we have any? Well, we have one guy. We'll show that one. It's actually at the end, and I didn't have any place to put it. We could show it now, but he speaks perfect English.
Is this the guy that he said he was just walking along and got taken and then taken to a gym and then?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And his English is like he's like a native speaker, which I don't understand what this is. Yeah, it's like.
Okay, here we go. Yeah.
Okay.
Change the screen. Come on.
I went to the store in order to purchase bread, and during my visit, a group of unfamiliar individuals approached me, forcefully grabbed me, and forcefully placed me inside a van before swiftly driving away from the scene. They transported us to the gymnasium. I am unaware of the precise location. We remained there for a period of 3 days, and
obviously reading.
They transported us to this current destination. I had no knowledge. I had absolutely no idea about our whereabouts. Not a single clue. Everyone just referred to it as Volchanka, but I didn't even know where we were. And during the night they arrived, took us, provided us with this uniform, and transported us to this place of captivity. I was so disoriented, I wouldn't have known where I was. And we surrendered. We're just relieved. We did not even study. I am operating on autopilot mode due to lack of preparation.
His English is just too good. But anyway. Yes. But Stoltenberg, he was also talking about, all this, what was he saying? This illegal violation of international law of Russia. But I guess it's not against the law to overthrow a democratically elected government. It's not against the law to bomb the civilians. Is one reason why they started the militia in Donbass. And a main reason why Russia eventually, after 8 years, eventually they came in, because they kept asking Russia, help us. They were bombing Donbass and killing everybody. And then of course they were mobilizing very, very much and moving even closer, and they even said that they're going to attack. And so that's one reason why Russia decided they're going to enter into this thing and start the special military operation. Yeah, war of aggression. Okay. And another part I wanted to mention, that we don't, I don't know, I've mentioned it before, and it's really nasty stuff, but it's the chemical component of this war, using chemicals. It's the other side of this ideological curtain, biological, chemical weapons, and Ukraine is using them, and they're getting the things, all the components and things from the West. The United States is giving them components to make chemical weapons, and there's actually I have two photos. Igor Kirillov, he's the biochemical warfare expert in Russia. And of course, he's been mentioning this. I think we have two. Yeah, here's the guy. And I've been seeing information from him in the past. There's another, I think, photo of him too.
Mm-hmm.
And he's mentioning that the Ukraine, I don't know really how he gets the information, but Russia obviously has some information peoples. See, now there's chemical and there's biological weapons program. It says several former Soviet republics. One of them obviously is Kazakhstan. I don't even understand. Kazakhstan's friends with Russia and with the West, and they have biolabs.
Didn't you say?
Oh wait.
Didn't you say Mike?
We're on YouTube, right?
Yeah. Didn't you say Mike Jones went to one of these?
Yeah, but I don't think we can show. We probably should stop talking about this even right now, right?
Yeah, we'll do it after we get off YouTube.
Yeah, but then we'd have to jump back, and we may not. Do you think we should just leave YouTube now?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
No.
Yeah, okay. Well, I have to find this and come back here to all of this stuff.
Circle it with your little pen.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I'll make some kind of marking on here. Yes. Okay. Okay, we have yeah, that was the guy who was, I don't know, volunteered. No, that was we just showed that guy anyway. Another major revolution that has been taking place actually very slowly, starting maybe after World War II. Now this is a real strange thing. This is a lot of history I'll be talking about if you guys bear with me. Scott Ritter has touched on this many times, and I think Colonel McGregor as well. But it's I guess it started slowly, maybe. Like I said, I'm not. Starting after World War II, is the West no longer being the antagonists of the Nazism? And like George Bush, I think it was Herbert Walker Bush, or no, who was it? Oh, George Prescott Bush, which was the grandfather of the last President Bush.
Financed Germany, the Nazis.
Yeah, he financed the Nazis. And of course, there's a lot of other people as well. And so a lot of the power holders anyway, were, on the side, or at least, they were on both sides, both sides of the fence. But just like, LGBT.
Well, the ex-king of England.
Oh, yeah, and they have photos of him with Adolf, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
it was so bad they ended up putting him in the Bahamas as a governor to get him as far away as possible.
Oh, okay. But
and he was going to be king again if the Nazis took over England.
Yeah. Okay. But this sort of thing, it's just like what's going on with power people today. The LGBT. That's one reason why they're able to push this thing so much all over the world, not just in the U.S. but everywhere, is because a lot of these elites and the super rich and all this, they're part of this thing too. And the social deviance, pedophilia, they call them MAPS, minor attracted persons, because they're trying to bring them into the mainstream and say it's okay to be, going after children and trying to have sex with them and things. Yeah, openly supporting this stuff. And openly.
That's why we're here. There's none of that crap here.
Yeah.
There's no LGBT agenda here.
Yeah, and they don't like the Nazis here.
No woke agenda, no Nazis.
Yeah. But now they're even openly supporting Nazism. I mean, it's already been a lot like that in the Baltic states anyway, and there's some in Poland. But we have even a guy that used to be the...
Yeah, we showed this last week, if you remember.
Yeah.
Last show, sorry, not last week.
Yeah, last show. Here it is. And I guess this symbol actually, without the word Azov on there in Russian or Ukrainian or Cyrillic letters, that symbol is actually is a Nazi symbol. It's not that it's a doctored Nazi symbol. That is a Nazi symbol that they used, the Nazis used in World War II. And there's here old Boris Johnson.
Yeah, we played that video where he was saying, "You guys are heroes."
Yeah, and that there's probably even with the real same swastika that Adolf had and everything, and they're just right alongside with him. This is incredible stuff. So they're doing it right out in the open, talking about some ideologies. It may shock some of our viewers, but it will certainly shock many more that are not viewers of this show, if they're actually tuning in, that the EU is entirely a project of Adolf and the Nazi regime.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost to the very finest detail of what the EU is and what it stands for today was envisioned by the Nazis.
At the end of the war, they had a big meeting. And they decided how to keep going.
This guy, you can leave this on. This guy is, and you can see the EU flag in the background. And the Nazi National Socialist Government. Listen to this quote from Adolf's top administrator and Minister of Aviation, Hermann Göring. And we propose to create a large economic zone within which the economy will develop with minimal influence from the state, with a common currency, or at least, he says this, at least, because there were some of these people that were envisioning this. They said, no, we don't want a common currency. So otherwise, but Göring himself wanted a common currency, something like the euro maybe, for these different countries, or at least a fixed exchange rates, abolition of tariffs and borders, collective trade agreements with the other continents and states. In other words, globalization, a Central European Economic Community is what they even said that. European Economic Community. And remember that the EU was first called, well, it wasn't first called, it was called in my day, the European Community.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, it was called the European Commission. They started a single currency in the 1980s. I even have a coin at home, the ECU. It was before the euro. It was called the ECU. And I suppose you can probably find pictures of them online. But of course, it didn't work because it was too early. And Adolf's economic advisor, this guy that you're looking at right now, Heinrich Hunke, he envisioned what he called the vision of the European community, which is what it was called in the 1980s in my day. That's the sort of precursor of the European Union, but it's actually just a different name of the beginning of the European Union, the European community. And if that's not enough, before the EU, before the European community, there seems to have been a European Commission, with this guy. This guy turned out, he's the first president of the European Commission, and he's considered the founding father of the EU, the European community. And here's a photo of him right there.
Circle in red.
In a uniform that, in other words, this guy was a Nazi. He was a Nazi. And that one picture that we showed of him right there, that's him. He's getting the Robert Schuman Award from the EU. I don't know exactly what year it was. Probably during the beginning years of the, when did he die? I'm not even sure. Maybe it was 1982. So that was maybe the beginning of the EU, and then
same with the West German Army and all that. They just had all the ex-Nazis in that, in it.
Yeah,
well, maybe not ex-Nazis, but yeah.
But
slight change of uniform.
Yeah. He was a Nazi lawyer, and here's a photo. Professor Hallenstein.
This guy?
Yeah, that's him. Same guy. And if you read some of this correspondence there, it's like Sieg Heil to Adolf over here. Auf der Grund, whatever. It's a little bit too small. But anyway, it's Nazi stuff. Yeah. So anyway, and this says Professor Hallein sprach. That means he said. And this guy, Professor Hallstein, said.
So what did he do?
What do you mean, in the Nazi times?
No, in the EU.
Oh, well, he was the president of the first European Commission.
Oh, it's the same guy that we were just looking at.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
Same guy. Yeah, and there's another photo of him, just if this is not enough. And the other guy that's sitting on the other side of him, if you show, that's the first president of Germany, Adenauer. And this is just showing that he's a very high guy. And what he, and you saw that first picture of him in a uniform, so you know who he was. And isn't Ursula von der Leyen, her ancestry, as well as Klaus Schwab,
all of them, even the finance minister of Germany, they all come from that. Should have listened to Stalin.
Yeah.
Stalin wanted to
get rid of
60,000 of them, the top business and those in the military.
Wow.
Wouldn't have all those EU leaders today.
Yeah. So fast forward, instead of talking of those that declared the master race, Maria Zakharova, she was mentioning Joe Biden's proclamation.
Is this your Maria photo for the night?
No, I got two actually.
Double.
Yep. Yeah.
Anybody watching for the first time, Duke has to have at least one photo of her in every show.
Yeah, at least there's two in this one. One in white and one in black. And maybe one day we can even have a talk with her, interview or something.
Yeah, we need more subscribers, everybody. If you want Duke to interview her, we need to get more subscribers.
Yeah. What does this say? I have a note here on the side.
Go out there and get people to join us.
Oh.
So Duke can go and talk to them.
Yes, but she's talking about something that Biden
Would you be
said.
able to talk to her, or you'd be like,
Oh, I know. I talked to her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
sure.
Okay.
Sure. Not in Russian though.
Thought you'd be like starstruck.
Yeah, she's actually I think she's you know what, she's normally like quite serious when we show her here on these photos and everything like that, but I think she's very jovial. She likes to laugh a lot and things like that. So in real life. So I'm not saying that what she does here is bad. She's witty and she's smart and good looking, so that's very good. So
ticks all the boxes with Duke.
Yeah. So she said, mentioned Joe Biden's proclamation that the U.S. is the indispensable nation. You know, it's like Joe Biden, he's trying to outdo, what did Obama say? I think I even wrote it down because I knew my brain would go. The exceptional people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, remember Adolf? He was saying the master race, and what I call the Nazis, you know, Zionists down in Israel. They said that God's chosen people, you know. So they have all this stuff. This to me, it turns out to be saying these sort of things, saying how superior you are over others, seems to be like a Nazi sort of a thing. I don't know, because it's the ones that are like trying to kill other groups or races or whatever that say this sort of stuff. And in the case of the United States, they're trying to kill off a lot of races and a lot of people. Mm-hmm. It's not just the Russians. You know, they tried the Gooks and Spics and
he started with the
all this kind
the
of stuff.
natives in America first.
Yeah. That's when they were the Nazis, or maybe the ones that wanted to be Nazis or something in the pre-time 1620 with the Pilgrims and all that. You know, but I don't think they were killing anybody. They were just kind of I think did they get killed off? Actually, Jamestown disappeared. That was 1607. No, the Roanoke. Roanoke was the first colony established in the United States, and it disappeared. Nobody knows whatever happened to that. And then the next colony that actually was established and stayed, it was Jamestown.
Which the Americans helped. American Indians, the locals helped.
Yeah,
they
helped
they
them.
would have starved to death. Hence Thanksgiving.
Yeah, yes, indeed.
That's where that comes from.
That's right. You're not even from there, and you know this stuff. I'll bet you probably know it better than a lot of Americans do.
There you go.
Yeah, but yeah. Actually, Obama's statement, the exceptional people, that implies, obviously, that other peoples are not exceptional. In other words, we are the best and everybody else is inferior to us. That is actually what Obama said.
Oh, it's like Burrell said, he used the garden and the rest is the
same
jungle.
Thing. Yeah, let's listen to this. I mean, listen to this stuff. I mean, and these people, I mean, is that diplomatic? I mean, if you're a diplomat, you shouldn't be taught to even be saying this kind of stuff. This is incredible. Sure. Anyway, so we had another. Okay, Zakharova. I think she's talking about the. Yeah, this is. I think. Was this the one? Maybe she is. This is the one she was talking about. Steinmeier, who's actually the president of Germany now. The one who actually controls things is the chancellor, which is Olaf Scholz, and the figurehead, head of government, so to speak, is the president of Germany, which is Walter Steinmeier, and his wife, and Macron's wife, which is the head of administrative head of France. I guess they were at the Holocaust Memorial in Berlin, and I don't know. I didn't put any pictures, but it shows them.
I've got it.
Oh, okay. I didn't save it. You know, but anyway, they're laughing, and
the Holocaust Memorial.
Yeah, and she's wondering what's so funny. And then it's like you and I, when we went to Hatay, it's not you just don't feel like laughing, you know, because that's a sacred type of area. Even when you go to the Fortress of Brest, even though it's not, you know, kind of the same. And look at this. It looked like they're really laughing into it. I mean, it's like, what the heck? What would you be talking about when you're supposed to be honoring, you know, those that died in the Holocaust? So that would be funny. I don't know. It's very strange. Yes.
So what did Maria say about it?
Well, she just said she's wondering what's so funny for them to be laughing like that in a Holocaust memorial.
Yeah.
And
I just put her up again for you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was going to say something else about. She was talking about Joe Biden on that other video, saying what the indispensable people. And I didn't even know this, but she said she went, in 1912, the U.S. president, which would have, was an election, which would have been Woodrow Wilson. She said was won by a man saying there are no indispensable people. So he won by saying there is no indispensable people. Biden is in an election circuit right now. He's saying American are the exceptional people. And this is part of this when I was just mentioning that there's some kind of a revolution going on. So this is a revolution. When you think about the mentality of even Americans in those days, saying that nobody is dispensable, and it's kind of like saying we're all equal, and we're believing in liberty, justice, and the pursuit of happiness and all that. But what do we stand for as Americans? I mean, now that we are the indispensable, we are the exceptional people. It's just
world's policeman.
Yeah, it's just shown what has really happened in the world, and this is a lot of the theme about what we're talking about here today, not just the nuclear stuff, but we have a little bit more about this on this kind of topic, talking a little bit about the Russian mentality and how they were raised. So but yeah, I think I was going to be talking about this Dmitry quote, but it's probably the one you just said. Let's see. Oh no, it's a different one. It's a no. This was not Dmitry Medvedev. Peskov. This guy right here. He says some really good stuff sometimes too. He's just not as pretty as Maria Zakharova, and unless you're maybe one of those guys in the United States that follow LGBT or something like that. Maybe you like this guy. I don't know. His mustache is not like, it's kind of like Freddie Mercury's. But anyway, Peskov said that along with the historical illiteracy, the West, which is very strange because this is also in Germany, it's not just Americans. Along with the historical illiteracy, the West is also trying to distort the knowledge of history and to erase everything positive about the USSR and its fight against fascism. Ignorance of history leads to a lack of understanding the dangers that threaten them, the countries and people, including the revival of fascism. The young generation in European countries, simply does not know who fought with whom in the Second World War. And that's what we were just talking about. Mm-hmm. And to me, it's like really astounding. I thought that was really driven home to them, and it was continued to be driven home to them, even with the younger generations in places like Germany, but apparently not. And that's why, like they're trying to brainwash them. This is really something going on, and we're talking about it right now. And maybe you don't think it's so important, but I do. And trust me, if they continue this is going to be very significant in the future, and you're going to see some things really happening.
How long before then Berlin they start taking down the Red Army memorials?
They're erasing all of this stuff. And then
they tried with Dresden, remember? They pulled that down, but people in the city complained.
Yeah.
They put it back.
Yeah, see, that's what it's in. If you just go to sleep and just let things happen, that's what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And the memory is going to be gone, and they're going to change history. It's like a book burning without burning books.
Yeah, Dresden will soon be. It wasn't the UK and the US that did it. It'll be the Russians.
Yeah, it's I guess you'd call it a social engineering revolution. Yeah, and it's like not unlike the Orwellian war is peace. Stoltenberg saying to escalate is to de-escalate. So let's let them hit targets and let's escalate because we don't want to escalate. It's like, huh? That doesn't make any sense. Let's keep poking the bear. Let's keep poking the bear. We'll de-escalate by poking the bear. Think about that. Think about in a zoo, going to a zoo. And I know zoos. And stick a stick through there. Let's keep poking the bear and see what happens.
The zoo man knows.
Yeah.
Not for long.
Yeah. I'll be cutting out of there in the end of June. I have to go to Germany for certain things because we have savings over there, and the European Union has said they're going to start taking they're thinking about maybe, Ursula von der Leyen said taking people's savings to pay for
their debt,
all the crap that they're doing, as well as to give money to Ukraine, and they're still trying to get the billions of the interest off of Russia's money from over there. It's incredible. and then, thinking it's fine to blow up the pipeline and make everything cost more. We'll go into some prices, at least in the U.S. pretty soon here.
Take your money out of the EU now.
Yeah. And like Dave mentioned, I wouldn't actually have volunteered it, but I have some, and it's in some gold, and they keep it in a vault. And guess what they're going to take first? Just like what they did in the United States in 1933, they're going to confiscate gold. They're going to take, if you see, I don't have it physically with me, and they won't even send it. They changed their rules now. Like I bought some coins, because normally coins you can take across borders and things, and maybe it's still the case. However, the company that I had it, they changed all that. And even though I've been paying the vault fees, we pay the vault fees. It's not that much. We don't have a lot of coins in there now anyway. But I've been paying this, and then they say, "Oh no,
only a few thousand.
You don't own the entire coins," And it's like, what? It's like you own like 97.9% of each of those coins. Even though I paid all the vault fees, I don't owe them any money or nothing. So how did, I bought a coin, so how come I don't own the whole coin? So I can't redeem the coin. I can't redeem the gold coin because I don't own any of the whole coins. And then I can't even get, say if I have, for example, I have 10, and say, okay, well then I want 9. And then we'll work out what you want to say on the other one. Oh, no. You have to pay the entire amount in order to get even just one or something. And then they will send it, by a courier to some place or whatever. It's a whole bunch of, let's just be honest, crap. And before that, I had some silver coins in there. And the vault fees for the silver coins for 1 year amounted to what the value of the coin was. So in other words, you pay vault fees, of that equals out to the cost. I mean, and it's like, come on, man, come on, man. Joe Biden would say that. I mean, just crap. And tell you what, I want to get as far away from them as possible. And all this, there's a lot of crazy crap going on in Germany. They wrote to us. We sold the house there, and we paid off the bill. The meter on the water meter was 0 because we hadn't moved into that house. It still needed a lot of renovation. And anyway, but we had there's a meter cost. We paid that off, and we told them we're moving. And then here, years later, they tell us we owe a whole bunch of money, for the water bill. And the name was already transferred over to the other person as well. I mean, even though we had that house for maybe, I don't know, because it was during coronavirus time, we knew that we couldn't go back over there and start renovations or nothing anyway. So anyway, we sold this thing. And it was all transferred, all that sort of stuff. And then they wanted extra money from us and basically I, showed them the little finger like this and said, no, we're not going to pay that. We already paid it off, all that kind of, and they're doing that. I'll tell you what, and it's this other house. Get this one. We had 2, and they were kind of houses that needed a lot of renovation. And one reason why we sold them is because you can't pay. An electrician in Germany then, before all of this stuff, was 100 euros per hour, and you can't even get them. You got to wait for 1 year before an electrician can come and do some work in your house. So it was like a dead end sort of thing. We got out of that. And we paid the heating bill off on that, and we switched it over into the other person's name, and that person got a bill of 13,000 euros. 13,000 euros, even though I don't think they'd, oh no, maybe at that time somebody had moved in. They had renovated some of the rooms. They had a lot more money than we did, and people were living in there. And she was saying, that's not our bill, because I think she was paying the heating bills. And I think they're talking about a time maybe before, maybe an interim time when we sold them before somebody started moving in or whatever. This is a weird thing. And then because she went to court and said that that's not our bill, and they charge her an extra 3,000 euros. So it's 16,000 euros bill. And, I don't know, maybe we're getting blamed because they don't contact us anymore. Like it's not our bill. And we, with them, we closed the account on the heating with them. So anyway, let's get, I interrupted myself here. Social engineering revolution, like poking the bear. What about poking the panda? What's going on now? You see what's, the U.S. says, yes, we're for the one China policy. We're for the one China policy. And is that why you're sending all these weapons to
Taiwan?
And this screenshot says, Taiwan to get better weapons than Ukraine. And when I saw this, I said, well, dang, that reminds me of when that thing started between the Palestinians and Israel, and the United States was saying, we don't have any more weapons, we don't have any more bombs, we don't have any. And it's like magic. They came up with literally 100 secret shipments of bombs to Israel. A lot of them, of course, were bombs that they dropped from airplanes and things, but a lot of them weren't, But they had all these bombs for Israel when they just told Ukraine they didn't have any bombs. And now they're telling that Taiwan they're going to get better weapons than Ukraine. And I wonder how Ukraine feels about that. I mean,
Ukraine was warned.
I tell you what, Ukraine, when will even the leadership wake up and say, hey, I think we had a little bit more honorable talks with Russia. Russia has honor, and they don't pull this stuff. And look at now the United States has Ukraine by the family jewels. So, yeah, poking the panda bear. Oh, by the way, that guy without the cowboy hat is the American. And the one with the cowboy hat, it looks like the Texan, he's actually the new leader of Taiwan. So, and I guess there's some sort of talks between that leader now.
I think Taiwan Parliament put some law in today which takes power off this guy here and
from him.
Yeah, and it's very China friendly.
Yeah, I was hearing that this guy's name is Lai Ching-te, It's like I don't know. Somebody told me once that a lot of the Chinese they get the names of the name what they're going to name their child by they take an empty tin can and they throw it down the street and the noise that it makes. No, I'm just kidding. I think some Chinese would laugh about that too, because we can't say their names. I wonder what they're going to say. The Germans say that we talk like we have hot potatoes in our mouth or hot rocks. So anyway, somebody threw the can and the sound made Lai Ching-te. So that's this guy's name. And if the U.S. gives better weapons, I don't know. That's part of the pivot to Asia, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a pivot away from Ukraine when they're doing nuclear drills? Maybe, I'll tell you what, maybe they're going to give the weapons to Taiwan and use the nukes over there on the other side of the world.
Once you start using nukes, it escalates.
Nukem Duke, yeah.
The world's gone.
Yeah, so anyway, the pivot to China, of course, is because China is outdoing the United States in just about everything except for militarism. That's the only thing that the United States is better at the Chinese than. So, yeah.
US is very good at blowing shit up.
Yeah. Yeah, so what else now? Yeah, in that same article that we were just showing, they were mentioning that Taiwan had actually ordered weapons from the United States like back in 2020, and they still haven't got them. So I don't know what came in between then. It might have been Ukraine and Israel, or just Israel. I don't have any idea, but they still haven't got those. And yes, I told, as I was talking earlier about this quote from this guy, he used to be the former Pentagon senior policy analyst, not analyst, analyst. His name is Michael Maloof, and he's coming out a lot and talking some real truth and surprising information about the United States. So like I said, he was a senior policy analyst from the Pentagon. And here's a quote from him. He says, he's talking about what's going on in the world, basically. And he says, so who's calling the shots? It's not coming from the USA. Is there some other element that is pushing this agenda to go after Russia? Well, yeah, it's the elites or the entities and those ideologies, as I say, such as the World Economic Forum, but I'm saying also Nazism and Zionism, that see Russia against its globalist tendencies. And you already just heard that the Nazis had globalist tendencies, and they probably still do. Their tendencies and their goals. These are the people with the money, with the influence, with the control over mass media. These are the folks that are guiding countries such as even the US and certainly Great Britain. So, yeah, Malif mentioned correctly ideologies, like I said, are driving the things. And we've been saying that sort of stuff on this show. And, yeah, talking about Nazism stuff. And the Baltics. The Baltics are now, talk about Nazis.
Woof, woof.
Baltic officials say they could send troops, without waiting for NATO if Russia scores a breakthrough. So what does that mean? They just scored a breakthrough in the Kharkov region. So, Oh.
No, I think if they get close to Kiev and close to Odessa.
But not Kharkiv. Kharkiv, the second biggest city in...
well, maybe that one.
Yeah, but, I don't know. You never know what these politicians are saying anyway. These people, maybe it's just this message is made for Russia. I don't know. Yes. So Scott Ritter's also been saying the same sort of things as we have too. But, the stuff that we learned when we were younger, during the Cold War, a lot of the stuff we have to relearn the real truth, I don't know. Scott Ritter was, I don't know if he was stationed or whatever, but he lived in Russia for a long time. And so he started learning the truth probably a lot earlier than we did, because he was a weapons inspector over there. Maybe in the 80s, he was learning what was really going on. And yeah, but now that we're over here, and I'm hoping that a lot of people, at least those watching the show, they already know that there's a real truth, and you're not hearing it from the mainstream. You're people cheering. Did I say something really? Oh, that must
be a good basketball game at the back.
I thought it was me.
Yeah, if anybody's hearing this, there's basketball court at the back. Because between these buildings, there's basketball court, there's tennis courts, there's playgrounds, there's a dog park, training places.
Yeah, and you can go even to playgrounds, and you actually see children playing. It's not like in the West.
With no graffiti on it, everything's not broken.
Yeah, that's very strange. Yeah. And I think a lot of time in the West, the reason why they don't have playgrounds and things in most places and all that is because if something happens, if a child, maybe falls, breaks their arm, or scratches it, the child's fingers or something like that, then they can sue. So
here it's you should have been more careful.
Yeah, the parents are always there watching the kids for one thing.
That's how it should be.
Yeah. And they try to make sure that the equipment is safe enough, and you can tell by looking at it if you want your child to be crawling on it or not. So, yes, since that. Anyway,
we have to do a video of you in the playground playing on things so we can show.
Yeah, me. But talking about all this Nazism and how
old weird man on the children's playground.
Yeah, you hear about some old guy hanging around a children's playground. Maybe I need a map. No, him a map. But no, this you even posted something, I think, in the last days, and it was about Ukraine. This stuff is so ridiculous. It's funny. I think that the ancient Indians and the Jews and the
Sanskrit, everything comes from Ukraine.
And they adapted the name of Galicia to like the Gaelic Wars of Caesar, probably, or something. And that comes from Galicia, because all of humanity basically started in Ukraine. They're that's Adam and Eve, probably the Garden of Eden and everything.
Because they said the Jews come from there, didn't it? And it's in the 8th grade book that they're teaching the kids all this stuff.
Yeah. And I heard about that a long time ago, that the ancient Ukrainian peoples, even though there was no Ukraine, they dug the Black Sea. And if it was Galicia that they're talking about, Galicia was quite a distance away from the Black Sea. So what did they do? They went over other lands. They dug the Black Sea with their hands, and then they migrated back to Galicia, I guess. And
well, as I said, JC was Ukrainian.
Yeah, Jesus was Ukrainian. Santa Claus, I think, was a part of that. I don't know, but anyway,
I'm sure Noah.
I also found, they said that the Ukrainians were actually the ones that built the pyramids of Egypt as well.
They were busy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what a people. I mean, can you? That's trying to.
They're exceptional.
Yeah, yeah. That's the ones. They're the master race because they were meisters. They were meisters because they could build pyramids. Meisters. Exceptional. And what did Joe Biden say? The indispensable, because none of that stuff could have happened without the Ukrainians guiding humanity to where it's at right now. Yeah.
I like in that book how they said Sanskrit and the Indians, all that came from there as well.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't that incredible? Wow. Incredible. What about the Chinese? Confucius, I think he must have been Ukrainian.
Probably. Probably.
Gosh. Isn't that sad?
I'm sure the Mayans came from there as well. Aztecs.
Isn't that sad that they're doing this stuff? And they start, really young, and these people grow up to think that...
Yeah, this is an 8th grade book. They're teaching the kids.
But I think they started even earlier. I'll tell you what. And they are in Germany right now. Because...
Well, I've got a video of them... do you want me to show you this video of these kids? Give me a second.
In Ukraine?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, we showed one, I think, a couple things ago, putting up their hand and saying Bandera is our father, Bandera, or something.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find where this one is. It was...
the guy that massacred 60,000 Jews in his own hometown of Lvov.
So...
30,000 or whatever it was.
These are kids in Ukraine. Remember, there's no French people, no French soldiers or anything in Ukraine. Remember that?
Oh, there's none. No,
okay.
Oh, no. No Americans either. None.
No, but we did see that photo of that French guy with the flag. He's dead. So, but here's this: these kids. Okay, you can read the subtitles for people that can't see it. So because obviously they'll be singing in Ukrainian. So here we go. So there you go.
French mercenaries are like brothers. We fight together side by side against the orcs. Our great hearts are one. They are not afraid to help us. They don't allow to bomb us. We thank them, the saints.
Yeah, so they're even teaching the kids, like, the French mercenaries are on their side.
Propaganda, and that especially made, believe it or not, to send to France.
To
keep them coming. Keep them coming, because we don't want to be the only cannon fodder. We're brothers. We have one heart, because I saw it in a trench in the blood. Yeah.
So what's this picture?
Yeah, these are some things. Yeah, it's kind of small here, but this is actually indoctrination, believe it or not, in Germany.
All right. So
it's incredible stuff. That one's a test over the Aufgabe.
Oops.
Oh, this is important right there.
Yeah, hang on.
Yeah,
so what's this?
So
what are they teaching?
Oh, yeah, this is the reasons and the grund, the why and Ursache and the consequences of the war. It says, we're talking about the Ukraine and Russia. And it basically says that Russia attacked, Ukraine was minding its own business, loving the people in the east, in the Donbass, and Russia just got up one morning and attacked. And this, I can't see it. Warum wird kämpfen? Why is there fighting? This is, and it's because of imperialism. Russia wants more territory, like they don't have enough, and all kinds of things like that. But it's a whole bunch of stuff trying to teach these kids, basically.
Where's this, in Germany?
Misinformation. Yeah, this is in Germany. And this one is very important. The one over to the right with the truck. It says, Max klar, Max klar. Make it up on the very top. It said Max klar. That means, so you, basically saying so you can understand. So this is very clear to you. Einfach erklärt. Simply explained. Krieg der Ukraine. Putin's attack on freedom, on the freedom, on the peace. And it says, this is important. Sie sehen aus wie Menschen. Oh, they look like humans. Aber es sind blutrünstige, hasserfüllte Monster. But they look like humans, but they are bloodthirsty, hateful monsters. These the Russians.
And this is German, right?
the Germans saying about Russians.
So in the 30s, they were saying that they were rats about the Jews, and now they're saying monsters for the Russians.
That they're bloodthirsty, hate-filled monsters, the Russians. So, yeah. So that's what's going on now. This is the beginning of the indoctrination process of how we got Nazis in Ukraine. And guess where this is going to lead? Round 2 in Germany, just like Peskov said, when they're trying to erase a lot of their history. And when you erase this history, when they say it doesn't exist or they don't talk about it, it's, well, in a sense, it means it's doomed to repeat itself. So here it is. They're going to have it all right back again.
Now what's this?
Oh, yeah, this is the thing. I think you put it in there. That is the in Ukrainian saying that.
This is where they were saying that the Jews are from Ukraine, and so Sanskrit and everything else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all incredible stuff, huh? I think it is. It's very, can have very strong repercussions for the future, as I say. Ukraine is the founder of human civilization. The ancient Greeks and everything like that. Everybody learned from the Ukrainians, you know. Yeah. So, yeah, you had that one there. Okay, we're at... where else we at? Because we're jumping ahead. Yeah, this is actually the same in France. You know, this this hatred of Russia. You know, they're pushing this in Germany. And like I said, I know people... my sister-in-law lives in Paris, central Paris, and her French is so good they cannot tell that she's actually Russian. And so they talk about, you know, how much they hate the Russians and what they're doing to any kind of monument that has anything. Like Russia put a lot of money in. I don't think the French know this, but one of the most beautiful bridges in Paris with statues and things like that. It was from Alexander, from the last Tsar of Russia. I'm wondering if they destroyed that or put graffiti all over. But they're desecrating all kinds of stuff because it's Russia. You know, it's because the government tells them to, basically. You know, for what, decades and maybe 100 years, everything was fine. And all of a sudden, the Russians are bad people, and we got to do all this stuff. And there's something very important. It came out. This was in the 1938 in Germany. It was by a philosopher. And if you remember what happened in 1938, oh, we're not on YouTube because, you know, you're showing that baby's butt. And
sorry.
Yeah, YouTube will. But yeah, that's part of this, that picture. Look at Germany today. And 1938, a philosopher named Walter Schubert, he wrote the following, and this is really eerie. In 1938, this was, you know, true then, and I guess it's true now. He said, Western European man views life as a slave whose neck he has stepped on, full of lust for power, looks down at the earth with evil, hostile eyes. This is a German philosopher, by the way. Russian people are obsessed not with the will to power, but with the feeling of reconciliation and love. An Englishman wants to see the world as a factory. A Frenchman wants to see the world as a salon. A German as a barracks. The Russian as a church. Russians were Christians before they were converted to Christianity. Therefore, Christianity spread in Russia by itself, easily and quickly, and not by the sword. This, and listen to this, this is where the Russian nation idea or national idea comes from. The salvation of humanity will come from Russia. This is from 1938.
He's right.
And this was during the Nazi times. And I wonder what happened to this guy, you know, back in those days. Yes, but anyway, we have a vid. We have part of a vid. First, we have a Seymour Hirsch, and he doesn't even really like Vladimir Putin, and I don't think he's even has any like towards Russia, anything special. I think he sees it as neutral, but there's a talk or some words from Seymour Hirsch.
Yes, here we go. Oops, wrong screen.
Yes.
I do believe he does not want to conquer Western
Talking
Europe.
about Putin.
I don't believe he wants to retake Germany. I don't believe he wants anything more. He wants this buffer, just as a necessity. You have to have a Ukraine that we overthrew the government, a pro-Russian government in 2014, but now it's pretty much acknowledged. The Undersecretary of State, Victoria Nuland, was overheard on an intercept that was made public at the time, probably by the Russians, talking to the ambassador about who should we pick to run the next government. I mean, you can't get away from that one. I know.
Yachts is our man, she said.
I wouldn't mess with the guy. And we've never really been big fans of Ukraine, NATO in particular, because of the corruption.
Yeah, just like I've said, Scott Ritter has said, and even Jeffrey Sachs is going to say in a second here, but of course a little bit more gently. In real truth, the U.S., what do you say, bosses, the government, the people, the controllers, they hate the Ukrainians. They hate the Ukrainians. Trust me, they hate the Ukrainians. They're more than happy to see Ukrainians dying en masse right now. And they may as well just come right out and say it because it's the honest to God truth.
Well, they say it's good value for money.
Yeah, that's why they say that. Can you imagine if it was Americans? They definitely wouldn't want that to happen. But no, they're happy as, they're peeing their pants for happiness.
Happy as Larry.
Watching Russians. And even Fico, the guy that they tried to assassinate, he came out and he said that. He says, Slavs killing Slavs.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy was brilliant. You got to look. I mean, unfortunately, he speaks a foreign language. Damn, why can't they all speak English? But anyway, the things that he said, he came right out.
Bloody foreigners.
Yeah, damn them anyway. But he even came out, he talked about the virus. No, we're not on YouTube anymore anyway.
We're still on YouTube.
Oh, crap. I don't know. We probably said some stuff we're not allowed to say.
Oh.
But anyway.
We'll get off soon.
Yeah. So any of you that are watching this,
right. Oh.
If we don't get deleted, make sure you go to Rumble more because we're probably going to, we'll at least hit a strike for this.
Strike one.
Strike. Okay.
Let's listen to Jeffrey Sachs. What's he got to say?
Well, basically the same sort of thing, but a little bit more gently than I do.
Okay, he's on YouTube, so maybe we'll be all right.
Yeah, true.
Absurd. It's utterly tragic. 500,000 Ukrainians dead for nothing.
Do you think that's the number?
I think that's probably the number. Yeah, that's the best number that I know.
I mean, we talked about this last night at dinner, but one of the most shocking things, just as someone who lived in Washington, to me is if you ask any of the senators, as I have, who voted to keep this war going with U.S. tax dollars, how many of your beloved Ukrainians have been killed? They have no idea and they have no interest in knowing.
And they don't care at all. And sometimes they say they don't care.
See,
Mitt Romney said, it's greatest bargain, no American lives. Dick Blumenthal said the same thing, basically.
European leaders say the same
no
thing.
American lives.
But isn't that evil? I mean, at some point, it's certainly hypocritical. They're telling us we're doing this for Ukraine, for our friends in Ukraine.
It's Orwellian.
The standard bearers of democracy. But also, don't you have an obligation to kind of care about the people you kill?
Maybe not.
Well, see, I'll tell you what. Tucker has this big streak of humanism in him, and actually so does Jeffrey Sachs. And that's trouble. That's trouble, especially if you're ever going to have anybody in any kind of a position where they make any big, important decisions, say people like like Lindsey Graham, you're in big trouble then, because these people, look at some of the things Lindsey Graham has said. Even Mitt Romney, he is supposed to be a Mormon, a Christian. And, I know that Mormons, have Christian values, even though a lot of Christians say Mormons are not Christians. So I don't know, what is a Christian then? Like, what is democracy? I mean, go around trying to define everything and everybody says that one thing, one says another. But anyhow, yeah, I guess there is no morality, just like what's going on in
So do you want to stop what you're
Palestine.
talking about, and then I'll just do a couple things, and then we'll move to Rumble? Or you can still keep talking without...
Actually, we can just switch. As far as I'm concerned, we could have switched just to Rumble already a long time ago.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was just thinking we can do Yemen. You want to do a quick Yemeni?
Yeah, you got a couple things on Yemen. I just heard the little twerps of news, but
yeah, they shot down another. This is a third drone they've shot down, or maybe the fourth one now. They've shot 3 before this.
the important drones you're talking about, the
Yeah,
money
US
ones.
Yeah, US drones. These ones.
Not little.
Look, and this one's intact.
$2,000 ones.
This one's intact. Normally they blow them up. This one crashed. It's fairly intact.
This is like $1 million drone.
Oh, I think it's more than $1 million. I think it's like 10 or 12 or something.
Wow.
Ridiculous. So there it is there.
Wow. Wow.
So they've got one of those now. And we've got a
That is it. That is actually it right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it actually was a little bit of damage, but that looks like if it's damage, it's very little.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I think they've got a video here. Here we go. They will speak fast, have you noticed?
Yeah.
Maybe they have to do it quickly before they get taken out, run away. So anyway, there's the drone. So they've got a drone now, fairly intact. So I'm sure some other countries will be having a look at that.
Do you remember? I think, is that the same kind that Iran got? Remember when the U.S. was...
No, that was the other version.
Yeah, they were after them, and Iran actually landed it.
Yeah.
They took control of the drone, and it really shocked the United States. They took control of the drone and landed it on an airfield in Iran. And the U.S. was saying, what? How did that happen? You know, maybe those damn camel jockeys are smarter than we thought. I don't know.
And they got 2 more Abrams. So this is the second one in the last 2 days. They got another.
Yeah. And as we were saying before the film, the Ukrainians are reporting that these are lousy. They're terrible. They got way too many problems. The condensation, builds up inside of the instruments and things like that. And so many other problems. I guess these were made just to sell, with some selling points and not to really be effective in combat.
Yeah.
Except probably under certain ideal conditions, but it's never that way in a combat situation.
Exactly. And I've got one of Putin making a joke. He was saying,
I think I know that. Yeah.
Yeah. Although it's in Russian, we can we'll say what it is, but essentially,
it's like we said that.
Военными на Украине не командует. Если бы командовал, мы давно бы завершили этот конфликт. Причем к взаимному удовлетворению. Мы бы нашли развязки с Украиной. Если бы Украины сейчас командовали люди, которые руководствовались бы национальными интересами, а не интересами своих.
So essentially what he's saying is Lukashenko should go there and fix them up.
Yeah, he says we don't have something set yet because we haven't got Lukashenko there yet. Remember I was suggesting on the show they should send Lukashenko down there
and fix it up. Yeah.
Dang, I should be a policy advisor.
Yeah. There you go.
Of these guys.
There you go. You were right.
Yeah. But he was joking.
Yeah. And oops.
I said send Lukashenko down there to get rid of the corruption,
Yeah. Yeah, you did. And I'll just a couple more things and then we'll move to Rumble. So we'll get ready to Rumble. Do you want to do this about the prices? Because you're allowed to do that.
Oh yeah. Maybe we don't have that many viewers on there, but yes, where is the prices at? Well, we just have some photo and some video.
So this is the video.
The economy is so bad.
U.S. economy.
$33 for toilet paper. We can't even afford to shit.
$33. What is it like how many? I wonder you get in that pack. $33. I mean, if you think about it, boy, $33. It's like more than $1 a roll. Do you know how much it costs here? How much do I pay? I pay 60 kopeka, which is like 20 cents, 25 cents a roll of toilet paper.
And I know you know the answer, but look, this item here, here is $7.61, and it's on special. Normally it's you're saving $1.50. This was only taken a couple of days ago by my wife, who's in Philadelphia at the moment, and
show them what they'll get, Dave.
Okay, ready?
Show them what they'll get.
They'll get 220 ml cans, 6 of them. So the small Coke cans they're on special, but normally $9 for that.
That's the kind you get in the airplanes, those little.
Yeah, they're the little ones. Yeah,
those little things that say, "What the heck is this?" I get two swallows, and that's about it.
So normally $9, but on special $7.61 in Philadelphia.
I think they put gold in those cans.
It looks like it.
Gosh,
it looks like it.
How about it's 220? What? How 20? how many ounces or something? It's because
it's here. It says here it's 222 millimeter.
7.5.
Yeah,
220. I didn't even think. I mean, really. I mean, those things in the airplanes, you know, and you don't even see those that often.
Yeah.
I would never think they would actually sell. You know, it's like when the candy bars. I heard from my parents how they used to get you get a Hershey's candy bar, a big huge thing, and it costed 5 cents. You know, and then by the time I think I was like a boy, I don't know, young teenager, they were like 20% of that size, and they were 25 cents, and I was complaining. I wonder what a candy bar costs now. Maybe it's filled with cardboard and stuff too to make up for some of that.
Also smaller as well. They also reduce the size.
Yeah, like they shrink in the size of instead of the smallest size was normally 330 milliliters or something like that.
Yeah.
Now it's 222. Oh my God.
Yeah. And Mexico, you know, always these Mexicans coming across the border into the
south of the border,
coming into America,
down Mexico way.
But now Mexico is deporting Americans.
Mexico is now deporting Americans back to the U.S. because they're fed up. So recently, people in Mexico have been complaining because there's been an increased amount of Americans moving to Mexico without documentation. This has been causing inflation in Mexico since Americans usually don't pay any tax, and they pay in U.S. dollars, so prices have been going up. Just in the past 60 days, there's been over 240,000 immigrants apprehensions, and over 7,000 of them have been deported so far. The reason people are fleeing from the U.S. to Mexico is because they can't afford to live in America anymore, and in Mexico the US dollar has a lot more value and can go a longer way. However, because of this, people in Mexico are also feeling like Americans have been colonizing in a lot of parts of Mexico, and for locals it's been a struggle since businesses have been naturally raising prices in response to this. People in Mexico are saying this is decreasing the quality of life over there, and everyone using pesos now having to pay more to buy anything.
Wow.
So they go deporting Americans from Mexico.
You know what they should do? I've heard that there's a lot of Mexicans in America. They can trade. They can trade the American criminals in Mexico for the Mexican criminals in America. Gosh,
yeah, exactly.
Funny stuff, huh?
Yeah.
South of the border.
Yeah. Okay.
It was siesta.
Let's have a look and
South of the border. She smiled as I whispered.
So if you're on YouTube, yeah, okay. Don't give up your zoo job. Please go to Rumble channel for the rest of the live show. If you're on YouTube, I already have posted the link, but you can just go and I'll post it again because we've got to talk about stuff that Mrs. YouTube doesn't like.
It's a violation. Yeah, it's already talked about.
So I've posted it again, so if you can come to Rumble and while we're waiting, and we'll go there. A little elevator music.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good elevator music.
Yeah.
You can sing along by a Mexican south of the border song.
It's like that song in Germany, that DJ song's been banned now because they keep saying Germany's for Germans and get rid of the immigrants.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just put it on you while I cut YouTube off. Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
Big you on there?
Yes, south of
there
the border.
There we go. This is the entertaining bit.
You wanted to hear me singing.
No, I didn't.
Yes. Yeah.
So we're cutting off YouTube. If you're on YouTube, please go to Rumble. Thank you.
Okay.